You did some breakdown of the most popular rookie in Chicago, Jack Sanborn, and watching what this guy does, given his opportunity after the trade of Roquan Smith, and we've had so much fun with him just because of all the narrative and everything on the Bears folk hero bingo card that this young man checks. And maybe it's not fair to him to sort of lampoon the whole idea, but you can see why people like him. He does stand out as a downhill linebacker. And people got mad at me when I said he looks like an old-fashioned run-down linebacker.
He does, Dan.
And it's hard.
Nothing wrong with saying that.
But it's just in this NFL, when so many teams are in nickel, I don't really know if it's kind of a dinosaur position. What does he do well? What can he work on? And what have you reevaluated what the ceiling for this undrafted, athletically limited guy can be?
Right. Well, the first thing is, in terms of the discussion about him, it should be played at Lake Zurich High School, right? Okay, so played at the University of Wisconsin, local kid, played Big Ten football, and he has some old school feel to him when you watch his game, right? And the thing about him, and I've said this on Twitter, and I don't think it's wrong to say, because look, I've always said this, Dan, you have to write what you see on the tape, right? That's how you evaluate, write what you see. I've heard that from plenty of people who are much smarter than me. So the first thing you say is, well, he doesn't have the high-end physical profile or athletic traits. You can go back to his combine numbers, ran the mid 4.7s. He doesn't have that level of athleticism, but he plays much faster. Why does he play faster, Dan? Well, because he keys. I use the term keys. He keys quickly, run pass reads. He can see the guard pull. He can play guard pull to near back as a linebacker read. He takes really clean lines to the football. And that's something we never talk about. But from a coaching perspective, you always talk about it. There's not a lot of wasted movement. Not a lot of false step. That allows him to run clean angles to the football. An excellent tackler. He's a good open field wrap-up tackler. And like you said, he can play downhill. And when you play downhill in this league, you're playing with a lot of bodies around you, a lot of traffic, and you have to be that physical player and have that physical presence to your game. Now, whereas limitations, you want to see him make more plays in coverage, right? You want to see him be able to get to depth as his own linebacker and close second-level throwing windows. You want to see a match and carry on a vertical seam. You want to be able to check a running back releasing from the backfield. And I'm not just talking about any running back. If you're going to be a big-time linebacker, can you match up to a Christian McCaffrey? Can you match up with someone like that? When they come outside, they run a little option route on you. Those are the things you have to see in order to judge where his ceiling can be. But in terms of what he's doing right now, he's a good fit for this defensive scheme. And also, you have to think about this from a roster perspective. When you're putting together this roster next year, he should be one of your core special teams players as well. Even if he is a starter, you can still cover kicks. You can still do that. I did it. Okay. You can be one of those guys, one that keeps you in the league for as long as you want to play, but also it improves the depth and quality of your football team. And he can do things for it. Now, do I think you need players around him, Dan? You do. You do. He's never going to be at that position where you talk about someone as a true high impact player, in my opinion, based off his traits. That doesn't mean he can't make plays for you. I'm not saying that. But I think you have to have impact players around him, which will make him an even better football player and even more productive for your defense.